So before we start this video, I want to make an announcement of an issue I had with the team. Cordelia came to me the other day and specified that, I don't think you're giving enough credit to the past. It's good to have a new beginning, it's good to start over, but it's important to recognize where you came from. And I thought, Cordelia, that's a good point. That's a really good point. So, that being said, I want to give a shout out to the NPL and to the PMC, and to recognize how far they've allowed me to come. Cordelia has offered to change his name to Carney Hobo, specifically because he's one of the people who voted me into the NPL. It was my test battle for the NPL, and a really good guy, good friend of mine. We also fought it out to see which one of us was getting relegated in my last season there. So, shoutouts to Carney Hobo. You're on the team. Congratulations. Shout out to the NPL and shout out to the PMC. That being said, let's get in with this team builder, right? Like, come on. We're going to be fighting the Golden State Excadrills, I'm sorry. Led by Ken the G. And, oh my god, this dude's team is nutty! I can't tell you how many times over the course of a week I have prepped and re-prepped and taken it apart and re-prepped again and then changed a couple things here and there up until the last 20 seconds before the actual match. Phew! Was not prepared for all this. So, as you can see, he's got an Excadrill, Gengar put on, Dracozolt, Incineroar, Slowking, Mantine, Comfy, I almost said Coffee. If I draft Comfy, I'm gonna name it Coffee. Mega Sceptile, Wigglytuff, and Grumpig versus our Infernape, Weavile, Gyarados, Gardevoir, Donphan, Umbreon, Cofagrigus, Steelix, Mega Ampharos, Cordelia, and Slacking. And oh my god, I brought almost every single mon on this roster to the 8 different teams I made for this match, because this dude's team is nutty. There's so many options here. There's the obvious Sand, but just as well, Mega Sceptile's still sitting in the back. He's got access to Trick Room. Given Trick Room's not spectacular, especially against my slow-ass team, but still, Dracozolt in a Trick Room with a negative speed nature using Volt Beak, that's scary. That's really scary. Comfy still gets its priority because of, whatever ability that is, I can't remember. The healing moves just go first. Shenanigans. Grumpig, still solid. I feel like that mon slept on a lot. Plus, nice and defensive Mantine back there, and Life Orb Slowking. Trick Room could work pretty well. So, I'm not saying we ignored that strategy, but mostly I was scared of Sand, and above all else, Gengar. I prepped so hard against this Gengar. I was terrified of Gengar, and Dracozolt, and Excadrill. Let's get into this. Our final step against Gengar that I made was Hannibal the Donphan. Assault Vest again. I told you it's one of my favorite sets. Nice and sturdy. With this build, we can take anything from a Life Orb Modest Gengar at around 40% maximum. We've Ice Shard for the priority. Rapid Spin, obviously, to A, get spikes off the field, and B, kind of just get Gengar in for a nice predicted knockoff. And Earthquake's obvious. It's Stab. We've got just enough attack stacked in to do a little more than heavy damage against Dracozolt, who we can live 1 hit from, and Excadrill, who we can live, I want to say 2 hits depending on his nature. I have no plans whatsoever of keeping this thing in against Slowking or Mantine, but a nice predicted knockoff should do a little bit for him. Slowking, I figure, would probably go Assault Vest, but at the same time, there's not really anything on my team that it needs to be Assault Vested for. And yeah, Mega Ampharos, but at the same time, Slowking isn't the Mega Amph switch-in. Gardevoir can do heavy damage to it, but Incineroar is a much, much better check to a Gardevoir than Slowking. So if he brings Slowking, I don't know what it'd be. Probably physically defensive. Because even a Thunder Punch from Infernape is doing heavy damage, but not heavy enough to kill a physically defensive Slowking. That being said, if he does try to switch it on Donphan, A predicted knockoff will tell us at least what type he's going to bring, since it's variable, as well as just help us out with utility with anything else there is. But really, Donphan's only here to get rid of rocks if necessary. Rocks really don't matter against this team a whole lot, mostly just to eat hits from the Gengar. Next up on the squad, we've got Anthony the Weavile. His last game on the team, by the way, we'll get to that. Nice, physical, jolly, banded Weavile. Not gonna lie, I can't remember why I brought Jolly. Definitely during speed creep something. Definitely forgot what it was. I think it was a choice scarf Dracozolt. I don't remember the calc. Mostly just the band, because if he does have I think that's Cowberry Gengar? Whatever the dark resist berry for Gengar is. I can never remember the name of these berries. If we can get Weavile against Gengar, even with the resistant berry, Pursuit will take it out unless he's like super HP invested. Past that, nothing on his team really wants to take a knockoff or a Skull Crash aside from Incineroar, like, at all. Ice Shard's really just there because, yeah, we're banded, so Sand Rush is going to suck, but a banded Ice Shard is still going to do crazy heavy damage to Dracozolt, and Excadrill's not going to want to take that if it comes down to it. Weavile is really just here for the late game. I don't plan to have it in unless it's 100% necessary, like throwing off Gengar or something. Moving on from there, Weavile was pretty cut and dry. We got the Carney Hobo. Around the same build I've been bringing, but a little bit different. We got Earth Power, Stealth Rock, Giga Drain, and Recover. I took Toxic off because Giga Drain's nice, but also I need the Earth Power for predicted Dracozolt, for predicted Excadrill, especially Dracozolt, because Credilli basically just asks it to come in, especially if it wants to set up a sub. So if we can catch it off guard, Earth Power will do a solid chunk to a lesser invested Dracozolt. It'll also help us figure out what kind of Incineroar he's bringing. I'm expecting an Assault Vest, but he could take it opposite route, just because Assault Vest and Incineroar blocks off both Weavile and Gardevoir. But, you know, maybe it's not. Maybe he just wants to bring defensive. Maybe he wants to bring Choice Band. And Earth Power dealing moderate damage will help us predict what kind that is. Credilli also just doesn't care about Mega Sceptile. A Leaf Storm will take about half, but with his offense is dropped, we can easily recover from that. Just as well with Slowking and Mantine, we can E-hits from them pretty well and just send it back. We can't do too much to Mantine in return, but it'll help us scope out, and it'll help us prepare for, you know, how to handle that Mantine with prediction, switch, and whatnot. We can't hurt Hippo. Like, Credilli really can't do much to Hippo. I'm expecting a very physical Hippo with, medium special defense, mostly just because, like, my Gyarados is physical, so that's not going to do too much. My grass type is Credilli, who's mostly going to be defensive, so he doesn't really need to take much in the special defense department. But Credilli's here. It's going to put rocks up. I want the rocks because I'm predicting him to... I want him to pivot a lot, especially with Incineroar, especially with... I thought there was something else that got U-turn. Oh, that's right, Dracozolt. Yeah, expect a lot of pivoting between Incineroar and Dracozolt, so I want to keep rocks up. It also pressures Excadrill to go for the Rapid Spin instead of an actual attack, which I love the idea of. It gives me a free switch in, gives me some momentum. Having my rocks up really isn't too important damage-wise. I just want to keep that kind of pressure there. Moving on from Credilli, we're going to go into Barghest the Umbreon. His first battle on this team. This is one of those sets I changed up a whole lot over the course of a week. Super physically defensive. He does not care about Excadrill. Cares a little bit about Dracozolt, not enough to panic over, and doesn't care about Incineroar. We have Wish and Protect for the obvious Cleric. Foul Play because I do expect this thing to be up against Exia or Draco. If not, call them in because Umbreon is usually just, you know, it's kind of passive. So a nice Foul Play will do a large chunk to them. It hurts Slowking moderately. Gengar's an outspeed, obviously, so Foul Play won't work there, but we do have the Sucker Punch for a predicted Focus Blast. Sucker Punch to a Gengar with minimal HP investment is hitting for, like, I want to say 75%-ish. In all reality, I should probably move that Spadef investment into attack just for the extra oomph. We'll see what happens. If it comes down to it, we can Sucker Punch the Mega Sceptile. I don't want this against Mega Sceptile. My keyboard's broken. Come on. Oh my god. Technical difficulties, I'm sorry. There we go. Umbreon's another cut and dry one. I really just wanted to make sure we had something to eat hits. I don't really have anything aside from Umbreon that can take a hit from Excadrill, and it's not eating a hit well from Dracozolt, like, at all. Especially at Volt Beak, I think we still drop if he's banned Hustle. Umbreon's really just here for the Exca. Moving on from there, we have Red Rocket, the Infernape, up until Literally, I hit up Ken, and I was waiting for him to respond, and I was like, you know, I should go over my sets. Infernape was Choice Scarf with Close Combat or Mach Punch, and I figured, you know, let's change that. Let's not use Choice Scarf. It's really only outspeeding the Gengar, and we learned from week 1. Don't overprep too much for one thing. And I don't really need to outspeed the Gengar with Sucker Punch on Umbreon and Ice Shard on Weavile and Ice Shard on Donphan. So we switched to a Life Orb and dropped a little bit of our special attack investment and threw it into speed. With this speed creep, we are still outspeeding almost everything. We didn't really need to outspeed Comfey. With its ability, it's going to take priority anyway with its healing moves. Mega Sceptile takes a weirdly high amount from Mach Punch. We're just not touching Gengar. Like, at this point, if Gengar comes, he's up against Infernape, we have to switch or we die. Past that, Infernape is doing a very heavy amount, even with the Mach Punch. Excadrill, Grass Knot hits Hippowdon, depending on his investment, I want to say anywhere from like 75 to 90%. That's assuming he's not specially defensive and max HP. Draco's ult takes a chunk from Earthquake, but it doesn't kill. Same with Incineroar. Slowking doesn't appreciate a Thunder Punch or a Grass Knot. I want to pack both just in case he's revealed to be a Salt Vest. Mantine's going down to a Thunder Punch. Comfey doesn't really take any of this, like, badly. Earthquake, I think, does the most to Comfey being maybe half. But if it comes down to it, we can handle it. Wigglytuff and Grumpig, Infernape can't really do much against them. They are definitely still in the back of my mind. Comfey is really good at Wigglytuff's position, so I don't see Wigglytuff coming unless he wants to bring a Trick Room, again, which doesn't work well against my squad. So definitely prioritizing the Comfey there. And same with Grumpig, really. I like it. It can be a threat, but not so much against my team. My team's weird. We do a lot of very obvious things, which makes it difficult for me, but also it makes it easy because I feel like I can predict better what my opponents will do, considering my team is very one-dimensional, aside from, like, Infernape. But we're going to move on to the last one. Solid Snake, the Steelix. Yes, that's an Air Balloon Steelix with Sheer Force. This is literally my only switch into Draco's ult. That's it. I have nothing else. I played with so many calcs and so many options to try to switch into a Banded Hustle Draco's ult. And this is the only one that worked. You got Earthquake, Thunderfang, Heavy Slam, and Toxic. Sheer Force is really just to make sure that Thunderfang is doing an extra amount to that Slowking. We can calc and figure out what type it is based off of that. Toxic is for the prediction. If he is choiced, and we can assume that safely, then he's not going to stay in going for a Bolt Beak or an Earthquake. And we can either try to play around that and go for Toxic, or we can just go for some damage. The Air Balloon obviously is so Steelix can't be Earthquake. No problem switching into Rocks, but again, I need to keep Steelix safe for the Draco's ult, because if it takes any hit beforehand, Draco's ult just runs through my team. I don't really see a reason for him not to bring Sandrust Banded. It completely eats through me. Like, with enough chip damage, we kind of just fall to it. Provided Weaviles out of the picture. Even then, he can just pick things off with Draco's ult and switch into Incineroar to take Weavile hits. With that, using Comfey or Wigglytuff to keep Incineroar alive to take those hits. So that's what I'm most scared of, is Draco's ult just coming in, killing something, baiting the Weavile out, and just regaining his position. Which is why we have Steelix with an Air Balloon to prevent that from happening. So, one big hole in my team is the Hippowdon. I realize I really only have Infernape and a Weavile to deal with that, neither of which I want to be in against it, unless I can predict something, get a Toxic off on it. But if he's using the standard Hippo set, it's not going to stand against Steelix, as its only attacking move will probably be Earthquake. I don't usually face Hippos in the draft format, mostly just in ladder. So, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know a whole lot about their move pool, aside from the fact that they usually run, like, 3 utility options in Earthquake. But Infernape's there to switch into Hippo for a nice revenge kill. Weavile can, again, not take it out with an Icicle Crash, but do some extremely heavy damage. And Credilli can Toxic it or Giga Drain it. So we can take it out in the long run with Credilli, but there's really no point in doing that, considering we'll both just heal up and repeat the process. Okay, that is the team. I'm, again, completely expecting him to bring Sand Rush, some Band, maybe a little extra bulk and Excadrill to make up for the fact that it's going to have to Rapid Spin. Especially Gengar. There's no reason for him not to bring Gengar unless he's afraid of the Pursuit Trap. Incineroar for Gardevoir. I kind of think he's going to bring Mega Sceptile, just because it can revenge kill very well. Even if I bring Credilli in, he can leave Storm it. Credilli loses half. He gets a solid prediction into Incineroar while I'm forced to recover. So I am expecting Mega Sceptile to come. Again, Weavile can take care of it easily with some chip damage, but I don't really see a better option. I don't think Slowking does a whole lot to me. Mantine, being my team is mostly physical, doesn't really have a spot here. And, oh, Comfy. Comfy is the one I expect. It's either going to be Comfy or Mega Sceptile, because the Cleric is going to help him out a lot with his bulk. Mega Sceptile will help a lot out. Well, I'll help a lot with that overwhelming special attack. Wigglytuff and Grumpig, not so much. So we're going to see in a little bit just if I'm right, if I'm wrong, how much of this can I accurately guess. Because, again, this team is, it's power. It's very powerful. But that being said, I will see you guys in just a little bit. Welcome back to the actual match. So we got most of the predictions right. Draco, Exca, Hippo, and Incineroar. Comfy did come, and the Slowking. So I am feeling comfy here, because Gengar's not here. So I feel way safer about this matchup. I'm not going to have to sack someone off, because bringing Gengar for me is, in the best scenario, is giving me a 1-for-1. So I would have to sack something off, which would probably be a switch-in or my Infernape to take out the Gengar, which would leave me at a big disadvantage here. Whew. Judging by his team, definitely brought the sand. Hippo, Exca, and Draco. Draco, I'm expecting to be a Sand Rush banded. Exca, again, probably Sand Rush bulky with Spin. Comfy's going to obviously be using that nice Cleric with the ability I cannot remember. Oh my god, somebody educate me, please. Slowking, I'm lost for. I have no idea. Because I've still got it stuck in my head that Incineroar is probably going to be Assault Vested just to make sure Gardevoir can't do anything. And, again, still blocks off Weavile, so there's no reason not to. But that Slowking is, I have no clue. It's a mystery to me. So we're going to get this started, and we're going to learn. We're going to find out. So, he's going to start off with Hippo. I'm going to lead off with Carney Hobo. I figured, okay, this is a good time to get rocks up. He goes straight for the Toxic, which is not a good sign. Given we don't necessarily need Credilli, but I still want to be prepared unless that Comfy tries to do something weird, like happens to be Specs or something. So we both got our rocks up. I predicted him to switch and went for an Earth Power. That was a mistake, because now he knows I have the Earth Power, so this is not going to seem to be set up fodder for Draco. He actually goes straight into Comfy to take this Giga Drain. 20% is nice, but we're not going to be able to outdamage it, so we got to get out of there. Without Gengar, this is Donphan's job. Like, this is the only thing Donphan can do now, because we can't eat physical hits nearly as well. He's going to go for a Calm Mind, and I'm glad I switched when I did, because I don't want to deal with a Calm Mind Comfy with priority on a Giga Drain or a Draining Kiss. Just knowing we can take that at 41%, it's going to take 3 hits to KO us, and Earthquake can do it in 2. So I'm perfectly fine sacking off Donphan and make sure the Cleric is gone. So, Hannibal, you didn't last super long, but you did what you were made to do. And I'm proud of you, buddy. You did it. I did make kind of a misplay here. He goes for the Drake result. Nice Dragon Claw. I should have gone for the Ice Shard just to get damage off. I didn't intend to reveal the Steelix yet, but we kind of had to, considering I didn't go for the Ice Shard, so we can't do much about it. He's going to switch out of there going to Slowking, as we can predict that and Toxic this. So, again, I have no idea what this thing wants to do, but we put it on timer, and I'm happy about that. Going back into Credilli just to soak up some special attacks if he wants to. Goes to the Flamethrower. I was surprised that he didn't use Scald up until literally right now when I remembered that I have Storm Drain. I remembered that I have Storm Drain, so he goes for an Ice Beam. That does a pretty hefty chunk considering our defense, so I assume he's probably specially invested. Gonna go into Cineroar and take this predicted Earth Power. I figured he might want to switch considering how well we ate that, and he wouldn't want to take a Giga Drain. But Carney Hobo is not liking this timer. We're gonna get up on out of there going to Umbreon. Really the only thing that wants to eat a hit from a Cineroar, which shows here when the Flavorless says 28%. So, Umbreon is not something that can really do much to this thing, but we can scare it out. He doesn't know we don't have Toxic. And it does allow us to get a Wish up, and he reveals he's not Assault Vested, obviously, when the Leftovers kicks in. Excadrill's coming in, and gonna go for the Rapid Spin, which basically means we're free to go for the Foul Play. I think he might have predicted the Credilli switch, but that does put Excadrill in a nice range for Weavile and Infernape, so that is not as big of a priority anymore, especially if we can keep Umbreon alive. Hippo comes in, we know he has the Toxic, and I don't want Umbreon to get poisoned. That's one of the last things I want in this game. So we're going to go into Credilli, predict it, and really just, because, yeah, the Wish heals it up, thankfully. But I really don't have anything to take out this Hippo with, so we're just going to go for Giga Drain as he outspeeds and goes for an Earthquake. No, I lied, we go for the Stealth Rock. So, now we go for the Giga Drain. I figured there's no reason to keep Credilli alive anymore. This will give us nice momentum to switch into Hippo, and I can't afford to break Steelix's Air Balloon yet. And honestly, I'd much rather lose Carney here than have something eat unnecessary damage, or lose our Draco switch in. So, Carney's gonna drop. We can go into Weavile, because nothing can take an Icicle Crash. He's gonna switch into Incineroar. And I'm like, yeah, taking it out already, Incineroar's done. And it missed. Because I have terrible luck with anything under 100% accuracy. That's gonna suck. So we're gonna go back into Umbreon. I really wanted this Incineroar gone, just so Weavile could do Weavile shenanigans. But it looks mostly like he's kind of just mediating himself to an extent. I expected him to switch out, he did not. And we saw that he took that Foul Play very well. We did lose our Leftovers, which also is very unfortunate. So this is where Hippo comes back out. And that was a nice switch on our predicted Wish. And again, I don't want this thing to get poisoned, so we're going to go for a Protect as he goes to the Toxic. And I felt like this was a safe bet. Now that Umbreon's healed back up, he's probably going to go for Toxic again, so we're going to switch right into Steelix. Because Toxic isn't going to affect it. He has no reason to go for an Earthquake when he could poison Umbreon. And I figure we can switch out back to Umbreon just to see if he has something that can hurt Steelix. So he goes into Slowking as we double out into Umbreon again, showing us that Hippo can't actually hurt Steelix. So he is our new switch in for Hippo. And that's a very comforting feeling, especially with the Sandstorm going. He's going to go back to Hippo here, and I really wish I'd kept Toxic on Umbreon because that Foul Play does nothing. Nothing! Sandstorm ends, which is good. We're gonna go into Steelix again, as he's gonna slack off and gain some health. So, solid play on his part. Knowing Hippo can't hurt us, I felt it was safe to go for a nice Thunderfang. And that took 38% from Slowking. We have Slacking. I wanted to do it again, but it didn't feel safe. Again, I couldn't let him eat any hits, and he switches out anyway to go into Excadrill, which is actually just perfect. He's going to Rapid Spin again, knowing that we're going to Wish up. I didn't want to take the chance to go for a Foul Play and have him go for an Earthquake and not be able to heal ourselves. So sustenance is key here. We can do this. We're playing carefully. No more recklessness for this guy. Hippodon's still showing to be an issue, though. Like, I need to get to a point where I can get Weavile or Infernape in while it has, like, 70% health. Slowking's still on that timer, and Foul Play does a surprisingly high amount, showing me it's probably specially defensive. Which really threw me through a loop. I didn't expect to Spadef Slowking, but he's going to switch here, back into Hippo, as it takes a Foul Play. Still putting us on this super weird point. So we're going to go into Steelix, knowing Hippo can't touch it. and he goes straight in the Draco's ult. And this is it. This is fine. We can go for the Earthquake. He low kicks, breaks the balloon. But I don't care too much. He stayed in. He's going to need an Earthquake. At this point, Steelix can go down. But he switches out and goes into Incineroar, knowing that low kick can't finish the job. Incineroar drops to Salad Snake's EQ. So I'm looking pretty good. Draco's in range of Mach Punch and Ice Shard and Sucker Punch. So we can just let Steelix go down here to this Excadrill. And I'm looking at the teams. I'm like, okay, well, Infernape just sweeps now. We just Mach Punch for days. So we bring in Infernape, the Red Rocket, the most loyal of apes, as he switches into Slowking. Eats that pretty well. And this, I thought about this play, and I realized, like, a second after I clicked the button that it was a very poor choice. Even Assault Vest's Slowking was going to go down to a Grass Knot here. But for some reason, I was like, I don't want to reveal the Grass Knot, because that means he doesn't know I have it, which doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. So we go for a Thunder Punch instead, as he predicts that very well and goes into Hippodon, which sucks because it's going to give him leftovers back. And I know that the Grass Knot's not going to kill this thing unless it's a super high roll, but we do look out, we do take it out. I don't think it mattered all that much because we could still take it out with Weavile if we needed to, but at the same time, not a move I should have made. Excadrill's coming out. We can easily take this thing out with a Mach Punch. He reveals he had the Chopper Berry. I don't know what his investment was, so I don't know if that was a roll, how much it mattered, or what. But that was also really lucky on our part. So Slowking's coming back out. And I go for the Grass Knot instead of the Thunder Punch this time. I should have gone for the Thunder Punch, seeing how much the foul play did. So Infernape is going to drop. That sucks. That could have been a nice endgame sweep for us, but we didn't go for it. I wanted to play it safe here in case he wanted to go for the Generator, so we went for the Pursuit on Slowking. I should have probably gone for the Ice Shard. It wouldn't have changed, except for the fact that Weavile may have picked up an extra kill. It does bring out Draco, but we are banded, so we can't eat this. I switched into Umbreon, specifically to sack it off, and then Weavile can come in with an Ice Shard and finish it. But he went for the low kick, and a crit didn't kill, which really, like, threw me through a loop, because Umbreon is able to pick this kill up with a Sucker Punch, and I didn't expect that to happen. Umbreon was supposed to die to, like, a Volpeak or something. But that was the match. Ken, great game, dude. Like, that was really stressful. A lot of fun. That Slowking had me low-key panicking the whole time, just not knowing what it was going to do. He made very effective use of Hippo. He conserved it pretty well. Yeah, very well played. I really hope we get to have a match again in the future. But, guys, that is going to do it for me. We are ending Week 3 off with a score of 1-2 with no differential. And I'm okay with that. It's not a fresh start. It's not a great placement, but it's better than what we could have been at, and I'm happy about that. I'm really, again, Ken, great match, very well played. I really hope we get to play again in the future. But that being said, we made some team changes, and we're going to go over that now, because why would I make a separate video when I can just cover it in 5 seconds? We dropped Weavile, Cofagrigus, and Slacking. Weavile, I know. I ran through the schedule, and I really didn't see it coming to a majority of the games in the future. And in Weavile's space, we picked up Cryogonal. It still retains speed, but not as much. It also gives us a ground immunity and a special ice attacker. So we don't have to rely on Icicle Crash, because we saw what happens there. We can make use of Ice Beam. It also gives us a special steel attacker in Flash Cannon, as well as another hazard remover. Not something you want to be your hazard remover, but, you know, can do it. Plus, that giant special defense is going to be just so nice. So we got Cryogonal. We dropped Cofagrigus for Staraptor, because I didn't want to go into a match not having a normal type. I mean, given we're not going to Ghost type now, I'd rather have a normal type than a Ghost type. Especially with Staraptor, it has access to U-turn, nice 100 base speed, so it's about average, and that giant attack power with Reckless, ooh, Double Edge, Brave Bird, Close Combat to stack onto it. It also has its own recovery system in Roost. I think Staraptor is going to be a good addition to this team. Given, yes, it's contributing to our giant physical attack stat, But dropping Weavile, it kind of just evens us out. And last but not least, we dropped Slacking for Muck. I don't like not having a grounded poison type. And Slacking is a lot of fun in ladder when people don't expect it. In the draft format, you can just throw Protect on something. We saw that in week 1. Slacking was 100% useless against Garchomp, and I'm not trying to repeat that. So Muck is going to be there. Muck at 3 points, like, that blew me away. I'm really mad I didn't notice that initially. Muck can soak up Toxic Spikes if need be. It's got a great attack stat, and it adds to our quickly growing list of priority with Shadow Sneak. I think like half our team is priority users now. Inferniv's got Mach Punch, Kragenol's got Ice Shard, Gardevoir has Shadow Sneak, Donphan has Ice Shard, even Umbreon has Sucker Punch and Quick Attack, but lol. Yeah, and Muck's gonna have Shadow Sneak as well. Sidebar, why doesn't Steelix get Coil? It's a Rock Snake. That's dumb. Give Steelix Coil. But yeah, I think Muck's gonna help out a lot, especially now that Toxic can't miss. That giant attack set has access to Elemental Punches. It gets Giga Drain, but like, I'm not gonna do that. So, there you go. That's going to be our week 3. Stay tuned this week because we are going to be dropping another episode of the Omicron Lock. And our next opponent is going to be Axel Raid. Oh man, that team is disgusting. I looked at it last night to start prep and quickly decided I have to do this later. So guys, watch out for that. There's a lot coming up soon. But by all means, go down the bottom there. Check out GlitchxCity. She does phenomenal music. It's everything that you hear behind my battles. Great remixes. Please go give her a sub, give her a shout. Just as well, hit up the BRL Twitter. That's the best way to keep up with what's going on if you don't want to join the Discord server. If you do want to join the server, hit me up. I will send you an invite. There's a whole lot of great people in that community. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Until next time, stay frosty.